So, ever since Tesla was introduced to the UK, it has always been a hot topic within the electric car conversation. If you think of an electric car, you think of the Tesla brand, but with the introduction of other electric cars from the likes of Audi, BMW and Mercedes, does Tesla have a place anymore? Well, Tesla believe they do, as this is their new main car. This is the new Tesla Model 3 refresh. Let's have a look and see what it is like. Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Cars and More. This is the #1 place to be for car news and reviews. Sit back, buckle up, let's go. So, starting with the styling at the front, and straight away we can see the new Model 3 refresh looks much sleeker and more modern than before. To start with, we get a new set of front wings which incorporate a new set of slim headlights that look like they are inspired by the Model S and Roadster. It has a thin LED daytime running light strip, and it also has matrix technology built into it, so these are much better than before. Changing these headlights also improves the aerodynamics too. What also helps with the aerodynamics is the much simpler front bumper. All we get is a central air vent and that's it. Plain and simple, but also functional. The performance version does get a slightly different bumper that looks like the older one, and it also has slightly more cooling too. Move around to the side and there aren't many changes to talk about apart from some amazing new colour options and some new great wheel options. We also can see the new headlight design from the side too, but overall it just looks much more like a premium car. Moving around to the back, and this is where things start to change. So the main change is the tail lights. Now they are all this one piece design and they are attached to the boot lid, so when you open the boot the tail lights go up with it. They do still look very modern and sleek though, and I do really like the design of them. The Tesla logo has also been replaced with the Tesla lettering too, and finally the bumper is also different, and again is more aerodynamic. Right, let's have a look and see what battery and motor options you can have with the new Tesla Model 3 refresh. There is 5 versions of the new Tesla Model 3 refresh. Let's start with the first one. This is the rear-wheel drive version, and this has a 245 brake horsepower motor mounted on the rear axle. We also get a 58 kWh battery pack, giving this car a 318 mile range. 0 to 62 is dealt with in 5.8 seconds, which isn't that bad. The next version is called Long Range Rear Wheel Drive, and this has an upgraded rear motor, bumping the power output to 320 brake horsepower. The battery pack has also been upgraded to 75 kWh, giving it a 436 mile range. Even though the battery pack is bigger though, we do get a quicker 4.9 seconds 0 to 62 time, which is quite good. The next version is called Long Range All-Wheel Drive, and as you guessed it, this has a dual motor setup, giving the Tesla Model 3 351 brake horsepower and is at 4.2 seconds 0 to 62 time. The battery pack is the same size at 75 kWh, which means the range does reduce slightly down to 390 miles, but this is still very decent. The final version is the performance version, and this gets, again, a dual motor setup, giving it 4-wheel drive and 460 brake horsepower. 0 to 62 is dealt with in 2.9 seconds, which is very quick. It does have the same 75 kWh battery pack now, and this reduces the range yet again to 328 miles, but like before, this is still very usable on a day-to-day basis. We also get some suspension upgrades on this model too. Right, the price of the new Tesla Model 3 refresh starts at £39,990, which isn't that bad and is quite decent compared to other rivals that you get. Right, let's have a look at the interior, as there are a few big things to talk about in here. So, moving inside, and this is where things start to really change. Some things are good and some things not so much. Let's start with the dashboard design. This has an all new design structure to it, incorporating some new materials as well as colour ambient lighting for the first time. This design is still similar but has been modernised slightly. The infotainment system is the same as before, and this gets updated every month on every Tesla, so there aren't really any new features to talk about here. The centre console is different and houses better storage bins, and we also get some new sporty seats which now have a ventilating function built in. Also, on the performance version you get some sport style bucket seats which makes it feel like a true BMW M3 fighter. Right, now it's time to talk about what might be a deal breaker for most people. The steering wheel design. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like the steering wheel design. It is very modern and sleek looking, but I don't like the fact that Tesla has gotten rid of the indicator stalks and drive selector stalks. This is a big shame as you have to retrain your brain on how to drive and how to use a car. So to select drive you have to swipe up on the infotainment screen or down for reverse. This I don't actually mind too much, but the indicator stalks is one step too far. They are now placed on the steering wheel and are touch sensitive buttons. This is the same for your autopilot and windscreen wipers. They are very fiddly to use, and it is great to see that the new Tesla Model Y has a stalk, so this could mean that the Tesla Model 3 could get a stalk back. We can only hope. Now, I know some of you will be saying that cars like the Ferrari and Lamborghinis have indicators on the steering wheels, which yes, it is true, but they are much easier to use as they are physical buttons, as where on the Tesla Model 3 they aren't, and which means you can accidentally knock them very easily. Anyway, the rest of the materials are decent and good for this type of car. Right, let's have a look and see what it is like in the back. So, climbing into the back, and we do get some changes, which include more ambient lighting and some slightly comfier seats. We also get a different style central air vent and an 8-inch tablet in the middle in the back, just like what the Model S and X has. This means that people in the back can control their own climate control, play games or watch a movie. You also get some USB-C ports and some slightly better materials too. Right, let's have a look and see what the boot space is like. So, opening the boot to the new Tesla Model 3 refresh, and as you can tell it still has its saloon style opening, but this gives access to 425 litres of boot space. If you fold the seats down however, then this does increase to 1,140 litres. Also, like other Teslas, you also get a front boot which has 88 litres, which is big enough for your weekly shopping or your charging cables, which is handy. On the dual motor version though, this will decrease slightly because of the motor being at the front. So in summary then, what do I think of the new Tesla Model 3 refresh? Well, it still beats its competitors, but it isn't as far as you think it would be. Yes, its rivals are very good now, but the Tesla has the feel and the technology that is a couple of years ahead of the competition. And this is helped by it being updated every year with new software and new range and performance figures, as well as better equipment levels too. Other makers are starting to do this, but not like how Tesla does. But I don't think it will be long before they do and where they overtake Tesla. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video.